False start.
Well, are you ready?
I'm always ready. Okay. Do I look like a professional podcaster? I think it looks pretty cool. How do I sound okay?
Yeah, you sound great.
So I'm excited because today I'm going to be talking about the 5 top tools that I use for Abbey. Before we begin, I want to give you a little intro. I want to say, hey, Abbey was diagnosed with autism at 2 years old. She was in an autism school. So everything that's geared toward massive interventions is the voice that I am speaking from. Because on the autism landscape today, autism means a lot of things. We've embraced new people with new levels of affective autism, which could be an internalized experience, to people like Abbey who's still language affected by autism. That means 22 years of speech therapy. And honestly, I cannot believe what I am seeing when I see Abbey do a podcast, when I see Abbey on a TV show, when I see Abbey in the world without me. It's no short of a miracle. But here are the 5 things I'm going to start with. The first thing that we do for her is do's and don'ts lists. This could be in reference to going to a barbecue, a party, the grocery store, you name it. We have created these lists. So I'm going to give you this one, which is the restaurant do's and don'ts list. And by the way, Abbey has asked me for these. So we have do's on the one side, don'ts on the other side. Many of these things she doesn't do anymore, but this is when we started. Abbey would run into a restaurant and she would run up to the hostess and just say, I want a cheeseburger and fries. She didn't understand that she had to wait for a table, sit down, order drinks, and wait till the waitress said, hi, may I take your order? That did not come in unless it was sort of manually taught. So here we are with our do's and don'ts. So we have the do's: greet the hostess, wait for the host to seat you. And the don'ts: ask the host off-topic questions. She'd come in the restaurant and say, do you have a cat? Do you have a dog? And the host would often be confused. Don't tell the host your order, or the hostess. So we broke it down so that she could say first step, second step, third step. And each one of these steps had a do's and don'ts. We find that when we write stuff down for Abbey, it really helps her retain it and know what she's supposed to do. Okay, so the second tool that I love is my steps for doing a task. Everything has to be broken down because what you automatically know to do in sequence, sometimes a person with autism doesn't have the steps. So we break things down. This is a simple one, steps for vacuuming, and it literally breaks it down from start to finish. So for Abbey, it was pick up the items from the floor, shake out the little side rugs, remove the furniture, break up the room into sections, start in the corner, vacuum each section, hold the cord with one hand while vacuuming. Well, I have a Dyson now, and I don't need that cord one, so I got to delete that.
You're welcome.
Thanks to my son who gave it to me for Christmas. So every single step is written down because sometimes a person with autism may not have that sequencing. It's something we're on autopilot for, but they need manual. And what I found was when I used these things for Abbey, she would slowly be able to just incorporate it, and then she didn't need the list anymore. But in the beginning stages, that many steps was overwhelming for her. So love breaking down tasks into steps. Okay, number 3 is really important. It's to help her with her memory. I don't know about you, but I've seen a lot of other creators talk about their kids' short-term memory versus their long-term memory. Like, what did you wear on June 27th, 1999 on such a day, and they can remember. But for Abbey, the short-term memory was the hardest. And if you can't remember your short-term memory, like what did I do yesterday, it's hard to engage in social conversation. So to help Abbey do that, we did 2 things. This is the first favorite tool, which is Abbey's weekly recap. This was a notebook created with these pages in it that Abbey had to fill in to help exercise accessing short-term memory. This really helped a lot. So she'd put in the date, and then she'd write, what did I do over the weekend? She'd had to think of 2 or 3 things. Where did you go with David? I just put David in there so y'all would remember, like if she's with a friend or something. Where did you guys go? What are 3 things that you're grateful for, things that happened over the weekend? Just things to trigger memory. And you can tailor this to whatever you want. Did you see a movie? Where did we go? Did we go to the lake house? Or whatever your thing is, you can tailor it to your loved one's normal experiences. This then helped Abbey review on a Sunday night before she went to school. So she'd have it fresh in her mind, because if you write it down, sometimes you can remember it better. So that this then would help with social language when she did get to school. The next thing we did, and this is kind of an older tool, but we still use it. I think this is great for everyone. This is just a generalized conversation starters with peers, friends at school. Again, things you would say on Monday morning that would be easy to engage in conversation. How was your weekend? I like to blank. Did you do this? Hey, giving someone a compliment. I like your shirt. Where'd you get your shirt? I have a blue one like that. Whatever that circle of communication is. Wow, this is such a great day. The sky is so blue. Rain's coming, the weather. I mean, these general conversation starters gave Abbey something to say when she approached a new student that wasn't maybe something completely off topic. So this can be a notebook. They can fill it out every day after they've gone away for the weekend, maybe use it on Sunday night to prompt social language at school on Monday. And my last one that I want to talk about is strategy to use when you're dysregulated. Now, Abbey's older, so keep in mind, this is something that we're sort of building, and we've been building, but senior high school into adult life. It's really important for your loved ones, even at a level 2, to understand how their brain works and why they might be triggered. Abbey is triggered by memories. Memories can make Abbey go back to when she felt super isolated in her autism school. She did not have a lot of friends. And even though that memory isn't happening now, the feeling is overwhelming and she can't get back. So a lot of Abbey's triggers are memory related. So we came up with something that I thought was very helpful. And this one was a trigger, the memory feeling, and then the strategy. So she would understand what the trigger was, which was due to the memory. Then we would isolate the memory, and then we'd give her a strategy to cope with that memory. You can tailor this to your loved one if they're having specific problems in specific situations. Be a detective, take notes, write it down. That is exactly what I did. So in this one I love, for example, falling asleep. This is a memory from 7th grade. But it's a memory that's very real for her. It was a memory of isolation when she had this one friend, and then a new girl came in, and she had better language than Abbey. So the friend chose to be with this new girl, and Abbey felt isolated. That was very real and very appropriate. And Abbey did not know how to manage that. So when she sees people falling asleep during the day, it's a trigger, because that girl used to fall asleep on the school bus. And so now Abbey will see that, and it triggers a feeling of isolation like it's happening right now. So Abbey has a strategy of how to overcome it. So she can do some self-talk, which is positive affirmation. We're aware of pushing the memory away and saying, that is not happening now. It's not relevant today. That is an old memory. So there's a lot on here. Wearing mascara is an old memory. When she was a kid, like 15, my friend's daughter wore mascara, and that became a trigger to feeling like she wasn't accepted. Now, it does kind of make sense, but that girl was much older, and Abbey really relives these memories in such a way that I don't think a typical person can even understand. But the next step on all of these tools is, how do you use these tools? So we took almost every one of these things and we put them on small laminated cards. I just did this myself. No therapist taught me to do this. I could see that she was forgetting to use her strategies. So I thought, if I write them down and she can carry them with him, put them in her handbag, now she has a security blanket. She has something that's going to tell her what to do, when to do it. It's the exact same thing on a smaller scale, and it's laminated. So it stays hard and you can feel it in your purse and all that kind of stuff. So those are my tools. We're talking about the toolbox, because I believe that what we learn as typical people, when our brains are on manual and a person with autism is not, these steps need to be broken down. Things need to be written out and visually so that they can see it, access it. Like I know Abbey will always say, give me the do's and don'ts on that. And for some reason, that helps her process, access, and understand. So I hope this was helpful. This stuff is kind of like my liquid gold for Abbey. I don't know where I would be if I didn't have the introduction from therapists to give me the ideas to do this stuff, and then the ability to sort of observe Abbey and see what was going on to help her access her language. So there you have it.